Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to talk about some new releases in 2024 that I cannot wait to check out. I thought that this video might be helpful for some of you, and I think most of them are going to be romances. I do have a few like fantasy romance books that I'm looking forward to, but I am just going to be sharing books by authors that I either enjoy or part of series, and also some new authors as well. I just don't really know a lot about fantasy books yet, so I don't have a lot of fantasy books in here, and I don't really read thrillers or nonfiction. That's why I won't have any to include in this video. But if you're into romances, then this is the perfect video. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. I have my laptop like right next to the camera, so I might be glancing over there, but today I have over 20 books to share. I'm going to start off with books that I already placed an order for. The first two books are fantasy romance books. The first one is going to be the second book following Divine Rivals. The second one is called Ruthless Vows. I cannot wait for this one. I wanted the UK edition, so it's going to come in January. I'm going to read that in 2024, and I'm so excited because of where Divine Rivals left off. I cannot wait to read more about the world and just see what's going to happen in that one. Her writing is just, I don't know, it was very easy to read and I loved it. It was so sweet. I cannot get enough of it. And then the second book that I can't wait to get is going to be Reckless by Lauren Roberts, and that is the second book following Powerless in the trilogy. You guys, I loved Powerless so much. I love Kai's character, and I cannot wait to see what will happen between every single character in that book. Both of these series are YA series, so if you are interested in them, they're really good and not really spicy at all. And then the third book that I pre-ordered would be The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. I think her books are so fun to read. I also love a good sports romance. Okay, so I didn't know if this book is kind of like related to the cheat sheet, but I think it is. The cheat sheet was just a sports romance, like a football romance, but they're like best friends, and I really enjoyed that one. So this one says college sweethearts meet again years later in this highly anticipated romance and companion story to the cheat sheet. So I'm very excited. I cannot wait to read more books by Sarah Adams, and those were the only 3 books that I've pre-ordered. The next book is probably one of my most anticipated reads of 2024, and that would be Magnolia Parks 3, Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. And I think I know what this book is going to be about just from the title. I love Jessa Hastings' writing for the Magnolia Parks series. Honestly, every time I read these books, they kind of like hurt me a little inside, so I am wondering how Magnolia Parks 3 will be, because Magnolia Parks 2 was a really good book. I still have to read Daisy Hates The Great Undoing to catch up, but I cannot wait for this one, and it's coming out in January. I lied to you guys. It's coming out in February. I'm very intrigued by the next book. This one is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Usually she writes like STEM romance books, but she's coming out with her first paranormal romance book, and I'm very curious to see how that book will be. All I know about this one is that there's going to be an alliance between a vampire bride and an alpha werewolf, and I have no idea what else will happen, but this is usually not something that I read. That one will also release in February. And the third book I'm so excited to talk about is Lynn Painter's new book called Happily Never After, and this one is releasing in March. I'm just like very excited for this one because it's going to be like a wedding themed book. This one says their name, the objectors, their job, to break off weddings as hired, their dilemma, they might just be in love with each other. That sounds so good, and I just love reading like wedding kind of themed books. This one might be the second one, but I'm still excited for Lynn Painter's writing, and I can't wait to see what this one is all about. The next book, I have not finished reading the Chestnut Spring series, but I still wanted to mention it because it's a different series by Elsie Silver. So this first book is called Wild Love. It is the Rose Hill series. This one is going to take place in Chestnut Springs as well, but it's like a different town. with new romances about different characters. I'm probably going to pick this book up anyway, so I should just mention it, and in case you guys wanted to check out something by Elsie Silver. This one says it's about Rosie Belmont. She's been driving me wild for years. The good kind of wild, the bad kind of wild, but mostly the kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. And one wide-eyed, desperate plead for a job is all it takes for me to hire her. Okay. Forbes labeled me as the world's hottest billionaire, but all I care about is opening my new recording studio. Something that comes to a screeching halt when I end up face to face with a young girl who claims I'm her biological father. Now I spend my days balancing business with parenting a sullen 12-year-old while trying desperately keeping my hands the hell off of my best friend's little sister. You guys, there are so many tropes in here. Seems like there's also the grumpy sunshine aspect, and it sounds very interesting. Kind of similar to Caught Up, but it's not a sports romance. Okay, so this one has spicy small town romance, brother's best friend, single dad, billionaire hero, secret pining, he falls first, frenemies to lovers vibes, all the spice and banter. Wow, that sounds like a perfect book right there. So now I'm really excited for that one. Next book is called Funny Story by Emily Henry. Happy Place just didn't hit for me like it did for everyone else, so I'm hoping that this one will be something I enjoy. This one is releasing in April, and it says shimmering, joyful new novel about a pair of opposites with the wrong thing in common. There's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's ex-fiance's ex. I just confused myself. There's no way that she would actually start a new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? She got me there. So I definitely can't wait to read that one, and I love Emily Henry's writing. I think is very beautiful, and usually her books have like some depth, so that's why I really enjoy them. Just Here for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Her books are amazing, and I just love the message that she has in them, especially Yours Truly. So this one says Justin has a curse, and thanks to the Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. When a woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They'll date each other and break up. Their curse will cancel each other's out. It's supposed to be a quick fling, just for the summer. But when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings for each other. Already you can tell that there's like a deeper message. I hope that there won't be like a 3rd act breakup, because I don't usually like that in books. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This one is also releasing in May, and it says it's a new romance between the buttoned-up heir of grocery chain and his free-spirited artist ex as they fake their relationship in order to receive a massive inheritance. It seems like it could be a second chance romance. So I'm very excited to see what all of this is about, because I love fake dating and it just sounds perfect. The next book I have is Daydream by Hannah Grace, and I still need to read the second book, which would be Wildfire, part of the Maple Hills series, and I loved Icebreakers, so I kind of forgot the characters in that book, so I can't wait to get back into it and then also read Daydream later on. So I know this one is a popular book because it's Henry's story. Honestly, I don't really remember too much about Henry, but I'm still excited to continue with the series, and the cover looks beautiful. I think this one he has a tutor and he needs help to keep his grades up. Daydream is releasing in June, and so are the next 2 books that I'm going to share. The next one is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. So this one is a forbidden secret affair proves that all is fair in love and science. That's all I need to know about it, and I love the cover. I just hope that this one is not too confusing, because Love Theoretically was like a physics romance book, and I thought that it could be a little bit confusing for people who don't really understand or know much about physics. Regardless, I'm excited to read another STEM book by Ali Hazelwood. And then the next book is The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. It sounds really good. Emma Wheeler desperately longs to be a screenwriter. She spends her life studying, obsessing over, and writing romantic comedies. She gets a chance to rewrite the script for famous screenwriter Charlie Yates. But when she meets Charlie, he doesn't want to write with just anyone, much less a failed nobody screenwriter. She will convince him that love stories actually matter, and she will kiss him senselessly to do it. But what if that kiss is accidentally amazing? What if real life turns out to be so much more real than fiction? What if the love story they're writing breaks all Emma's rules and comes true? So I can't wait to read this one. And then the next one I'm so excited to read. This one is Play Along by Liz Tomford, and it is the 4th book in the Windy City series. I loved all of her books so far. I think The Right Move is my favorite out of the 3, but Caught Up is like a close second, and then Mile High. So overall, I think the series is like a 5 stars series for me, and I can't wait to read Play Along because we get a little snippet of what the 4th book will be and who the characters are in that one. That book is also coming out in June, as well as these next 2 books. This one is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I fell in love with The 7 Year Slip. Her writing in that book was just so beautiful, and I hope that a novel love story will be just as amazing, or even like half as amazing, because I loved the story so much in The 7 Year Slip. All I know about this one is that it's a professor of literature finds herself caught up in a work of fiction, literally. I think she finds out that her life, she is basically living in a fiction book. So I can't wait. That sounds really fun and really cute as well. So moving on, I have a few books left to share, and they're all like new to me authors. The first one is actually releasing on January 1st, and that is A Banh Mi for Two by Trinity Wen. And I really want to read this one because I feel like it's nostalgic for me. There's Asian rep, and also it's an LGBT read. This one says it's a sapphic contemporary YA novel in which a Vietnamese American student fakes a study abroad trip to Saigon and crosses paths with a local banh mi seller who dreams of seeing the world, embarking on a food tour around Saigon that connects them with the city, themselves, and each other. It sounds so wholesome, and if you guys don't know, I'm Vietnamese, so I literally went to Vietnam this past summer, and I can't wait to read more about it just because of the culture. The next book is actually a romantasy, and this one is called A Fragile Enchantment by Allison Saff. It's actually coming out January 2nd, and this one says it's a magical dressmaker commissioned for a royal wedding finds herself embroiled in a scandal when a gossip columnist draws attention to her undeniable chemistry with the groom. It's giving me kind of like Bridgerton, and I love anything that's like royal. I hope this one is a great read. The next book is coming out in February. This one is called Eyes Like a Hurricane by Taryn Nikolic. It says they might not have been part of each other's plans, but they soon realize that they are each other's futures. Aslan, I think that's how you say her name, she's coming home with an ex-boyfriend who refuses to let her go and a dog who wants wide open spaces. Aslan runs to her home state. Having the dream of opening her new veterinary clinic, she jumps feet first into a small town life in Topaz Falls, Montana. What she doesn't plan for is a 6'4" rancher with eyes like jade, or her ex doing whatever it takes to get her back. She helps make the discovery of a lifetime, but in turn almost loses her possibility of a future. Lachlan. He's hit with a hurricane when a chance encounter with the feisty brunette puts him toe-to-toe with her stormy gaze. She wasn't what he planned on bringing home, but he refuses to live in a future where she doesn't exist. That sounds so cute, and I cannot wait to read that one. This next one is also coming out in February. This one is called The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. She also wrote The Neighbor Favor, and I didn't get a chance to read that one. This one says it's about two former high school sweethearts get a second chance in their marriage of convenience romance. I love marriage of convenience, and also I met my husband in high school, so I think that this kind of gets me a little bit. I don't know if it's like related to The Neighbor Favor, but I feel like it's probably not. This one is called How to End a Love Story by Yulin Huang. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, but it's coming out in April, and I'm very excited because it says that she is the acclaimed screenwriter of Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation and the director of the forthcoming Beach Read feature film. I love Emily Henry's books, so I can't wait to see the writing for this book, and I feel like the story is just so interesting. Helen Zhang hasn't seen Grant in 13 years since the tragic accident that bonds their lives together forever. Now a best-selling author, Helen pours everything into her career. She's even scored a coveted spot in the writer's room of the TV adaptation of her popular young adult novels. LA is a fresh start that she needs. After all, no one knows her there, except Grant. Grant has done everything in his power to move on from the past, including building a life across the country, and while the panic attacks have never quite gone away, he's well liked around the town as a screenwriter. He knows he shouldn't have taken the job on Helen's show, but it will open doors to developing his own projects that he can't pass up. Working together is a messy and electrifying, and Helen's parents, who have never forgiven Grant, have no ideas he's in the picture at all. When secrets come to light, they must reckon with the fact that theirs was never meant to be any kind of love story, and yet the key to making peace with their past and themselves might just lie in holding on to each other's in the present. It sounds so sad, and I don't know, but I feel like it's going to be a good, beautiful story, hopefully. Second to last book, it is called Mistakes Were Never Made by Hannah Brown. Is coming out in May. Hannah Brown was actually on The Bachelorette, and I watched her somewhere before that. I'm very excited because I know she came out with her own book, and now she's like dipping her toes into a romance book, so I can't wait to read this one. It says an epic coastal road trip gives two lifetime rivals a second chance at love in this debut novel. It also says two former debate team champions who almost fell in love years ago are now stuck together on one wild wedding weekend. I think that's so fun. Another wedding related storybook, and I can't wait to check this one out, see how her writing will be. And yeah, I just think it's really cool that she is writing a romance book. The last book is called Savor It by Tara Dewitt, and it is also releasing in May. So the tropes in here are small town and fake dating. That already got me. So this one is basically about Sage Bird. She has lived in Spoons, Oregon her entire life, and her 5-year relationship with her ex, he basically broke it off and now is suddenly engaged. So she wants to win this town's like annual summer competition, and she met Fisher Lang, and he is a hotshot chef in New York City until he lost his sister that left him numb, and now he's back in this small town. They are going to struck up a deal and basically I think help each other out. So it just sounds really fun, and we know how it will end. So I can't wait to read another small town romance, and I just love fake dating as well. So I hope that this one is a good one. But those were all of the books that I wanted to share. They're all books that I'm very excited to check out in 2024. Let me know if there are some books that I'm missing. I also wanted to mention that I didn't include any books that are popular, but I didn't start the series yet. So for example, I know that The Crescent City, the third book, is coming out. I just haven't started the series yet, so I didn't want to mention that in here. But I hope that you guys learned or discovered some new books to check out in 2024. I can't wait for all of these books. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!